My name is June Pat. I'm the Business Director at GetLinks, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Souphanthong Saypharath, Head of PMO at Krungthai AXA. Thank you for joining us, Kun Su.
Oh, Nikhab, thank you for welcoming for this event. I'm very happy.
Okay, first of all, can you introduce more about yourself and your background for us?
Sure. Souphanthong Saypharath, Head of PMO for Krungthai AXA Life. I've been here for 6 years in Thailand and Head of PMO for 5 years. So I'm in charge of all the strategic company for Krungthai AXA Life.
Okay, I understand that you mobilized yourself from France back to Bangkok just specifically to work for Krungthai AXA.
Yes, I moved 6 years ago. I was a consultant. I was a Scrum Master. So I came to for a project and then was very successful. So the company offered me the opportunity to work longer. So that's why I decided to move here.
That's awesome. So I understand because GetLinks here, we also are very acquainted with Krungthai AXA. We have also worked with your colleagues and you yourself. A lot of people has described you as a visionary person. Can you share some of the strategic initiatives that you drove forwards here?
Thank you for your kind words. I won't say I'm a visionary. It's a bit hard to say, but with Krungthai AXA, we embark into a journey with major transformation in different areas. Our business is to sell health and life insurance products.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 5 years, we invest a lot of time, energy into providing digital tools and more effective tools to our agents, our sales force. Also improving our operational part with new digital tools, so it's much more efficient, much more effective when they have customers on the line. We also develop new tools for our customers so they can manage their own policy by themselves without going through an agent or without calling the company. We made major investment project-wise, and also the company went through agile practices. When I came in 5 years ago, there was no agile in the company. So I initiated agile practices in the company. Now it's been practice established for a long time within the company for all our major projects we have internally and also externally with our partners, including GetLinks.
Thank you. During this COVID period, I understand that everyone is working from home. Are there any initiatives or best working practices that you have cultivated for Krungthai AXA or your team?
So the COVID situation had some impacts on the way we worked. Basically, at the beginning, not all the staff were equipped with laptops or MacBook and so on. So we had to provide some equipment to some of the staff. Along the way, we established also or reinforce some program for employee assistance, so people can consult experts, if they're facing stress, challenges, or how to manage their work-life balance, because sometimes some of the employees, they're at home and they have children, or it's difficult sometimes. We reinforce also our online training. So in the company, normally we have a lot of trainings for self-development for the staff. Now, with the COVID situations, we also reinforce that aspect by providing a lot of training business-wise regarding the core of business, but also in terms of the ethics or how we could manage work-life balance. We also receive weekly or regular updates and tips regarding the COVID situation, the news, the current situations, the different practices, the different actions that the company has taken, and also a lot of video from health specialists within Krungthai AXA or even doctors or specialists. We have also the company also provide an incentive. So basically, you can take your chair that you have usually at the office and you can bring it home, so you can work more comfortably. So that's helping the staff, to work in a much more efficient way, in a much more healthier way. And we have also time to time entertainment initiatives, contests, photo contests, entertaining, and regular check-in survey to check how the staff are doing, and to have just to check the temperature of the staff and the employees in the role.
When you talk about insurance, most people view it as a very traditional business, someone non-related to tech whatsoever. But I understand the past 6 years you've been doing lots of things to transform that. Is there something that you can share with us that you transformed or you pushed through using technology for insurance?
Yeah, insurance is has a perception of very traditional. It's a complicated product. Life insurance or health insurance is a complicated product because it's like a commitment of several years or lifetime for any other customer. You have a lot of aspects to take into consideration. It's not like you're buying a travel insurance or a car insurance and it's like a year to year or just for a trip. So it has much more aspects. After, it's also depending about the culture. For example, in Thailand or in Asia, there are a lot of face-to-face relationship. Whereas in AXA in Europe, for example, people buy insurance, they can buy it online. It's much more established practice. And also we have to comply with the trend. We have it's an industry where there are a lot of regulations that we have to comply with. So we made major investments not only to cope up with the competition, but also to cope up with the trend. Also, our customers also have evolved. They are not the same as 5-10 years ago. So they have mobile devices, tablet, mobile phones. So us as providing a service and protections to our customers, so we need to be equipped and to have the tools, to adapt to the market and to the needs. But yeah, it's not like you can develop any tools like this, and you can deploy. The tool has to also comply to some regulations and restrictions. It's a bit different.
We saw you share a lot of initiatives from the work from home practices that has emerged. Do you see any of this becoming new norms for the future?
I will speak only from my company perspective because I think different companies have different views. The work from home practice is not something that we had frequently because it's also depending on the structure. To make it a practice like this much more effective, it means that it requires to have a proper connections, proper bandwidth, proper equipment, and so on, and to be also for any other employees to have an environment where you can work from home like 7 hours per day. In Thailand, there's still some part of the region where the connectivity is not that good. Most of all those employees are in Bangkok, so in Bangkok it's not a problem. But for our agents who are located around the country, in some provinces or in some villages, it's much more difficult. So I think it's something we're gonna pursue to have much more work from home. We also need to ensure that we don't lose the productivity and we're still able to be responsive to our customer. It's not because you're working from home that you're going to work less. So there's also a matter of productivity, but it's also providing also the support and services to the employees, to ensure that they have all the needs covered by the company, but also it doesn't interrupt the way of working.
So in these aspects for AXA is also one of the main things focusing on connectivity with your dealers up country, since that's one of the major facts that you've realized the work from home has created this I would say, failure to communicate effectively or connect effectively.
Well, all the employees are in Bangkok, in my office, so it's not a big deal. But you still have to, with some areas, some departments, you still have to deal with our agents who are on the field. And sometimes, they don't have 4G, they don't have Wi-Fi, and so on and so on. So it's a bit difficult in the country. Bangkok, I think it's an exception. The rest of the country is a bit more challenging. So it requires a lot of infrastructures, having the tool and the proper equipment to do this. But I don't think it's impossible. I think it's something we're going to generalize and we're going to pursue in that way.
Okay. Well, lastly, can you share more about Krungthai AXA culture, since I understand it's a large global organization, and you did mention something about difference in terms of culture between Thailand and the international environment. So maybe it can allow potential candidates who want to join Krungthai AXA in the future to understand more about your company.
Sure. So AXA is a French company. The main headquarters is in Paris. It's established in more than 60 countries in Asia, in the US, in many continents. And because it's a global company, it's also really important that we have this diversity within the company. So, for example, in Thailand, yes, we do have the majority, 90% of it, 95% of the employees are Thai people, not a problem. But there's still also a lot of foreigners, who come with a certain expertise to help and to develop the company. I'm one of them. I came 6 years ago. They trust on my expertise and my knowledge, and it's going well. But it's also a lot of those foreigners. They had also big experiences in other countries. Some of our foreigners, they work in Thailand for more than 10 years, so they know the culture. Sometimes they're married to Thai people and they have kids and so on, so they know the culture well. So it's a very global company. We worked a lot on a day-to-day basis with different entities in Philippines, India, in France, obviously in other countries as well. So yeah, we tend to be very, very global, but keeping also that big part that makes our strength, which is the Thai culture and the Thai knowledge. If I compare to the rest of the industry, I know that a lot of my competitors, there's not a lot of foreigners because there might be Thai companies and they have this hierarchy, very very Thai. Here it's to be a bit more flat. We remove some of the layers because I think it makes the communications and the work more effective.
Lastly, is there any few words, or would you like to share any advice or any sort of suggestions to everyone out there during this period of COVID? Maybe any sort of morale that you like to share to your fellow colleagues in the insurance sector, or even to people who are unemployed at the moment, or just to anyone out there who's listening to the video?
Yeah, first of all, to be safe. I think it's very, very important. I think the world is facing major challenge. It's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of risk for anyone, employee, foreigners, whoever. I think it's also reinforcing the needs of having, proper coverage, health. I think a lot of people start to realize that having a health coverage and having companies or industries like us supporting people in that specific aspect is also very helpful. It is people at least at mind. I think it's very important. the world's going to change, the industry is going to change. I think everybody needs to adapt to the current situation, the regulators, the governments, the countries, and we need to ensure that we are following and what will happen next for the future people who may join the company. I think there's some opportunities for after the COVID, after we finishing that challenging period. There's still business needs. There's still a lot of things to do for the country. There's still a lot of things to do for the customers, and we'll need people with energy, expertise, to develop more tools, more services, and more products for our customer and for them ultimately. So it's not lose hope, it's just trying to keep positive as much as we can, even though it's maybe tough for some of the people. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. I think I have to say, first of all, is thank you a lot for your time today, Khun Souph. I think I learned a lot regarding how to adapt, whether it be moving from France to Thailand, adapting to a large organization, adapting to COVID, or even adapting to fit the environment we work in, or adapting and basically bringing all those adaptations into innovations. So I think I've learned a lot, and I hope all our audiences will learn and find some way to adapt as well. So thank you มากๆเลยค่ะ for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you ครับ
ค่ะ